Americans are buying hybrid SUVs faster than ever because the sales pitch sounds almost impossible to resist. More miles per gallon, instant electric torque, no range anxiety, no waiting at a public charger, and in some cases, enough horsepower to embarrass a V8. But a hybrid badge does not automatically mean low fuel bills, low repair bills, or a smart purchase. Some of these SUVs are excellent only when you charge them every night. Some carry a premium so large that the fuel savings may never recover it. Some use a turbocharged engine, a conventional automatic transmission, multiple electric motors, a high-voltage battery, all-wheel drive, and an entire network of computers just to move one family to the grocery store. And some are being sold in 2026, even though the manufacturer has already changed direction. Today we are counting down 12 hybrid SUVs from bad to catastrophic, not because every vehicle on this list is defective, and not because every owner hates the one in the driveway. The ranking measures buyer remorse risk. That means the gap between what the customer thinks the vehicle will do and what the vehicle actually delivers after the payment, charging routine, fuel economy, space, depreciation, and long-term complexity become real. This list covers current 2026 models, plus recent plug-in hybrids Americans can still buy new or nearly new during 2026. That distinction matters. A leftover vehicle can look like a bargain until you discover that the discount was the market warning you about resale value, product support, or a powertrain that only makes sense for a very specific owner. At number 12, we begin with a genuinely good family SUV that can still disappoint the wrong buyer. By number 6, we are spending luxury car money on systems with luxury car complexity. The top 4 are where the financial risks become serious. And number 1 is not a useless SUV. It is a famous, desirable machine that becomes one of the worst efficiency purchases in America when the owner does not live exactly the lifestyle the engineers assumed. One more rule before we begin. A plug-in hybrid, or PHEV, is not the same thing as a normal hybrid. A regular hybrid charges itself through the gasoline engine and regenerative braking. A plug-in carries a larger battery and must be connected to external power if you want the advertised electric advantage. Once that battery is depleted, you are driving a heavier gasoline vehicle while carrying the battery, motors, charger, and cables everywhere you go. That is the trap running through this entire list. The best PHEV for a disciplined owner can be the worst hybrid for someone who never plugs it in. Let's start with number 12. Number 1 is the Jeep Wrangler 4xe. This may be the most misunderstood plug-in hybrid in America. The Wrangler 4xe is fast, capable, distinctive, and genuinely useful for certain owners. Its plug-in system delivers 375 horsepower and 470 pound-feet of torque. Electric torque works beautifully off-road. Silent, low-speed driving can transform a trail. The removable roof, doors, solid axles, four-wheel drive hardware, and Jeep community give it an identity no ordinary crossover can copy. But if you buy a Wrangler 4xe as a fuel economy machine and do not charge it every day, the mismatch can become catastrophic. The electric range is roughly 21 miles in the familiar 4xe configuration. That can cover a short commute. It can also disappear quickly in winter, at highway speed, with aggressive tires, or after one unplanned trip across town. Once the usable charge is depleted, you are pushing the shape of a brick through the air while carrying a turbocharged engine, 8-speed automatic, battery, motors, charging hardware, solid axles, four-wheel drive components, skid protection, and the weight of the Wrangler lifestyle. The official MPGe number describes blended electric and gasoline use. It does not repeal aerodynamics. A depleted Wrangler 4xe is not going to behave like a RAV4 hybrid on the interstate simply because both vehicles have electric motors. Complexity is only part of the warning. Owners often modify Wranglers. Larger tires, lifts, heavy bumpers, winches, roof equipment, and re-gearing can reduce efficiency, change driveline loads, affect braking, and complicate diagnosis. The same modification that makes the Jeep look ready for a mountain can erase the operating cost logic used to justify the plug-in. The correct Wrangler 4xe owner wants a Wrangler first and a PHEV second. That person charges at home, drives many short trips, uses the capability, understands the maintenance, checks the VIN for campaigns, and accepts that efficiency will vary dramatically with speed and modifications. The wrong owner wants Toyota-like MPG, has no home charging, drives 200 highway miles every week, and buys oversized tires before the first oil change. That owner paid extra for a powertrain whose best feature is almost never used. And that is why the Wrangler 4xe is number one. It is not the worst SUV here. It is the easiest vehicle here to buy for the wrong reason. When the lifestyle fits, it is unique. When the lifestyle does not fit, the owner is left with a high payment, complex hardware, disappointing gasoline economy, and a charging cable that never leaves the bag. That is catastrophic buyer's remorse, not because the Jeep failed to be a Jeep, but because the buyer expected it to be something it was never designed to become. Number 2 is the 2026 Nissan Rogue plug-in hybrid. Be precise about the name. This is not Nissan's upcoming e-Power Rogue. Nissan says that system belongs to the 2027 Rogue arriving later. The 2026 vehicle is a plug-in hybrid closely related to the Mitsubishi Outlander PHEV. Nissan lists the Rogue plug-in hybrid from $45,990, with standard all-wheel drive, seating for up to 7, up to 38 electric miles, and roughly 420 miles of total range. The powertrain produces 248 horsepower. Those are useful capabilities. The problem is what happens when the buyer asks what is uniquely Rogue about it. This Nissan shares its fundamental vehicle and plug-in technology with the Mitsubishi. Badge engineering can be perfectly competent, but it forces a value question. Why pay Nissan pricing? Which dealer is better trained on the system? Which version will receive stronger incentives? Which badge will hold value? And what happens when the genuinely new e-Power Rogue arrives and makes the one-year plug-in experiment feel like a bridge product? The fuel economy split is the biggest trap. Charged regularly, the Rogue PHEV can cover a normal commute on electricity. With the battery depleted, Nissan lists 25 city, 27 highway, and 26 combined miles per gallon on gasoline. That is not the number many hybrid shoppers imagine when they hear Rogue Hybrid. The third row also requires honest testing. 7 seatbelts do not create the room of a large 3-row SUV. Nissan lists only modest cargo space with every seat raised. If you need 7 seats and luggage at the same time, bring the family and the bags to the test drive. Because this is a new 2026 offering, there is no long-term owner record for this exact Nissan-badged configuration. That means number 2 is a ranking of regret risk, not a claim that 2026 owners have already accumulated years of failures. The risk comes from first-year positioning, high price, shared identity, gas-only efficiency, and a newer Rogue hybrid strategy waiting immediately behind it. Buy it only if you can charge, need its specific packaging, trust the Nissan dealer more than the Mitsubishi alternative, and negotiate the price aggressively. Otherwise, you may spend nearly $50,000 on a vehicle that becomes the forgotten middle chapter between the gasoline Rogue and the coming e-Power generation. Number 3 is the Dodge Hornet RT, a vehicle Americans can still find at select dealers in 2026, even though Dodge now says production has been paused indefinitely. That single sentence should change the entire negotiation. The Hornet RT is not slow or boring. Its plug-in powertrain combines a 1.3-litre turbocharged engine with electric motors for up to 288 horsepower and 383 pound-feet of torque. It can travel an EPA-estimated 32 miles on electricity and reach 60 miles per hour in about 5.5 seconds. For a compact crossover, those are serious numbers. But when a manufacturer pauses production indefinitely, the buyer inherits questions that the original window sticker never priced. What will demand look like in 3 years? How aggressively will dealers discount unsold inventory? How quickly will resale values react? Will technicians see enough examples to become deeply familiar with the plug-in system? How long will a future buyer wait for a model-specific trim or electronic component? Federal parts support requirements and shared corporate hardware do not mean the vehicle becomes unserviceable. The Hornet is closely related to the Alfa Romeo Tonale, and Stellantis will continue supporting owners. The problem is market confidence. A discontinued or paused model often depreciates before the owner has finished explaining why it was secretly a great deal. Charging remains mandatory if you want the efficiency story. Run the battery down, and the Hornet becomes a compact performance crossover carrying PHEV weight. buy it for 32 electric miles, then park on the street without a plug, and the central advantage disappears. There is a buyer who should consider one, someone who loves the performance, has home charging, receives an enormous discount, keeps vehicles for a long time, and accepts unusual product risk. Everybody else should compare the final price against a current model with an active production future and a larger service population. Do not let a salesperson turn a $5,000 discount into proof that you saved $5,000. A discount is only savings if the underlying vehicle retains enough value and utility to justify the purchase. The Hornet RT takes number 3 because it can be thrilling on Monday and financially lonely on trade-in day. Number 4 is the Jeep Grand Cherokee 4xe, the plug-in version shoppers still encounter as recent inventory and used examples in 2026. Its numbers look excellent in a showroom. 375 horsepower, 470 pound-feet of torque, roughly 25 miles of electric range, and serious four-wheel drive capability. The regret begins when a buyer wants one vehicle to be a luxury SUV, an EV commuter, a high-output turbo vehicle, a tow machine, and a trail-ready Jeep at the same time. To deliver those personalities, the Grand Cherokee 4xe combines a 2-litre turbocharged engine, 8-speed automatic transmission, electric motors, high-voltage battery, power electronics, sophisticated four-wheel drive, thermal management, and layers of comfort and infotainment technology. It is an engineering achievement. It is also an extraordinary number of expensive systems sharing one platform. The electric range can cover school runs and a short commute if you charge every night. If you do not, the vehicle carries the PHEV weight while relying heavily on gasoline. The MPGE headline becomes irrelevant on a long trip after the battery's usable electric energy is gone. A buyer expecting Prius-like gasoline economy from a powerful, heavy Jeep will be disappointed quickly. Purchase price is only the opening move. Larger tires, complex suspension options, four-wheel drive hardware, premium electronics, and specialized hybrid diagnosis can make post-warranty ownership unpredictable. A discounted used 4xe may look cheaper than a conventional Grand Cherokee, but a lower market price can also reflect buyers demanding compensation for uncertainty. This Jeep makes sense for someone who charges at home, drives short daily distances, values real off-road or towing capability, and has both a capable dealer and an emergency repair fund. It makes little sense for a highway commuter buying solely to reduce fuel costs. Check the VIN for open recalls and completed campaigns before purchasing any used or leftover plug-in Jeep. Do not accept "the light was cleared" as a diagnosis. Scan every module, test both electric and hybrid operation, verify charging, and inspect service records. Number 4 is where regret can become severe. The Grand Cherokee 4xe can replace several vehicles in one driveway, but it can also concentrate several vehicles' worth of complexity into one payment. Number 5 is the Hyundai Tucson Hybrid. Yes, this is a popular, well-equipped compact SUV with a long hybrid warranty. Yes, the 2026 model produces 231 horsepower, includes standard H-Track all-wheel drive in the United States, and advertises up to 38 miles per gallon. And yes, for many owners, it will be completely satisfying. It ranks this high because buyers often compare only the fuel economy sticker and ignore the architecture producing the number. The Tucson Hybrid uses a 1.6-litre turbocharged direct injection engine, electric motor, small high-voltage battery, 6-speed automatic transmission, torque converter, and mechanical all-wheel drive system. It feels stronger and more conventional than some power-split hybrids because it changes real gears. That familiar behavior is a selling point. It also creates more conventional service points than shoppers expect from the word hybrid. Compare it with a naturally aspirated Toyota power split system. The Toyota does not use a normal multi-speed automatic or turbocharger. That does not guarantee the Toyota will never fail, and it does not condemn the Hyundai. It simply means the Tucson asks more mechanical components to cooperate over 200,000 miles. Fuel economy also varies by configuration and driving style. Up to 38 is the most favorable version and test cycle. Aggressive acceleration, cold weather, short trips, roof accessories, heavy tires, and high interstate speeds all reduce the number. An owner trading a 33 miles per gallon gasoline crossover for a Tucson hybrid may save less money than expected once purchase price and financing are included. Hyundai's warranty is a genuine advantage, especially for the original owner. But read the exact terms. Warranty protection is not the same as zero inconvenience, zero diagnostic time, or coverage for every wear item. And once the owner keeps the vehicle beyond the protected period, maintenance history becomes the warranty that matters most. Buy the Tucson Hybrid for its equipment, performance, AWD, cabin, and warranty, not because you think it is mechanically simpler than every gasoline rival. Keep the oil correct, treat transmission service seriously, protect the battery cooling path, and save every receipt. The Tucson takes number 5 because it can be a very good SUV sold under a dangerously oversimplified promise. Hybrid equals simple. Number 6 is the BMW X5 xDrive 50e. This is one of the most impressive vehicles in the countdown. It delivers 483 horsepower, reaches 60 miles per hour in about 4.5 seconds, offers up to 38 miles of electric range, and carries an official starting price around $76,000 before options. It is also the moment when we must stop pretending every hybrid exists primarily to save money. The X5 xDrive 50e is a performance luxury SUV using electrification to deliver speed, smoothness, and short-distance electric driving. It can save gasoline if you charge it every day, but if fuel savings are the financial justification for spending $76,000, the math has already escaped the building. BMW combines a turbocharged 6-cylinder gasoline engine, an 8-speed automatic transmission, high-voltage battery, electric motor, power electronics, xDrive all-wheel drive, adaptive chassis technology, advanced thermal management, and an enormous amount of software. That engineering produces a spectacular driving experience. It also means a high-mileage owner is responsible for 2 propulsion worlds, plus the luxury systems surrounding them. Depreciation can make this X5 look irresistible several years later. A vehicle that once sat near 6 figures with options may enter the price range of a new mainstream crossover. The purchase price falls. The parts prices, tire sizes, diagnostic equipment, and labor requirements do not magically become mainstream. The correct owner has home charging, appreciates the performance, follows maintenance carefully, and can absorb a 4-figure repair without financial panic. The wrong owner buys a heavily depreciated example because the monthly payment fits, then postpones tires, cooling system work, suspension repairs, or warning light diagnosis. If you want the X5 because it is an X5 and you understand what premium ownership costs, the plug-in can be the most compelling version. If you want it because somebody told you hybrids are always cheaper, walk away. Number 6 is where this ranking changes from disappointing fuel math to serious financial exposure. The BMW is brilliant. The idea that brilliance will be inexpensive is the part buyers regret. Number 7 is the Mazda CX-90 PHEV. Mazda built this SUV for buyers who want 3 rows, rear-biased all-wheel drive, premium styling, and a plug without moving to a European luxury badge. For 2026, the plug-in system combines a 2.5-litre engine, electric motor, and 17.8 kilowatt-hour battery. Output reaches 323 horsepower when using the recommended premium fuel, and electric range is up to 26 miles. That sounds like the perfect middle ground. The regret risk comes from how many compromises are packed into that middle. 26 electric miles can eliminate gasoline from a short commute, but it is not enough to forgive inconsistent charging. Miss a night, add a school run, drive in cold weather, or use highway speeds, and the engine becomes involved sooner than the optimistic brochure scenario suggests. After the battery is depleted, you are still moving a large 3-row SUV and all of its plug-in hardware. The CX-90 is also Mazda's first generation of this large, longitudinal plug-in hybrid architecture. First generation does not mean failure. It means there is less long-term evidence than you have with mature Toyota hybrid systems. Early adopters accept that they may help the manufacturer discover software behaviors, calibration issues, or service procedures that later buyers never notice. Packaging deserves a real-world test. The CX-90 is long, but the interior does not feel as enormous as its exterior dimensions suggest. The third row, seat configuration, and cargo space need to be tested with your family. A beautiful driving position cannot create more room behind the third row. Then there is price. Higher PHEV trims move well into premium territory. At that level, a shopper can compare the CX-90 against conventional hybrids with better fuel economy, used luxury SUVs, or larger family vehicles. The Mazda must win because you love how it drives, not merely because it has a plug. Buy it if you charge daily, value steering and chassis behavior, need the third row occasionally, and are comfortable owning a newer architecture. Avoid it if maximum cabin space, proven long-term simplicity, or lowest fuel cost is the priority. The CX-90 PHEV earns number 7 because it asks the buyer to pay premium money for a sophisticated first-generation solution whose electric range is useful but not transformative. Number 8 is the Volvo XC60 plug-in hybrid, often known by the Recharge name. This is where the countdown becomes expensive. The official numbers are seductive: 455 horsepower, up to 35 miles of electric range, and acceleration to 60 miles per hour in as little as 4.5 seconds. It is quiet, quick, elegant, and far more exciting than the word hybrid suggests. But the XC60 is not a simple fuel saver. It is a high-performance luxury SUV carrying a gasoline engine, forced induction, a conventional transmission, electric propulsion, a large high-voltage battery, all-wheel drive capability, premium electronics, and sophisticated driver assistance systems. You are not removing complexity by buying the plug-in. You are stacking one propulsion system on top of another. That can be completely reasonable during a lease or warranty period. It becomes a different calculation for someone planning to own the vehicle for 12 years. Tires, brakes, suspension components, sensors, cooling hardware, and dealer labor are priced like luxury car parts because they are luxury car parts. The fuel you save on a short commute can be erased by one repair the owner of a simpler hybrid may never face. Charging behavior matters again. 35 electric miles can cover an average commute, but only if the battery begins the day full. Ignore the cable, and you are moving a powerful, heavy luxury SUV with gasoline. The official 63 miles per gallon equivalent figure is not a promise of 63 miles per gallon on an interstate road trip with a depleted battery. The XC60 Recharge is for a buyer who wants performance and refinement first, can charge at home, values the Volvo experience, and maintains a serious repair reserve after the warranty. It is not for someone stretching the loan because the tax treatment or monthly payment made the purchase barely possible. If one premium repair would force you to choose between fixing the car and paying the mortgage, you cannot afford the vehicle, even if you can afford today's payment. Number 8 is not an attack on the XC60. It is a warning that luxury depreciation can make an advanced SUV cheap to buy used, long before it becomes cheap to own. Number 9 is the Kia Sorento Hybrid. Like the Santa Fe, this is a vehicle many owners will genuinely enjoy. The 2026 Sorento Hybrid produces 227 horsepower and 258 pound-feet of torque from a turbocharged 1.6-litre engine and electric assistance. It delivers strong fuel economy for a 3-row crossover and offers a polished cabin. The word crossover is doing important work in that sentence. The Sorento sits between compact and truly large 3-row SUVs. That makes it easy to park and efficient on the road, but it also means the third row and cargo area cannot break the laws of geometry. Raise every seat and pack for a family trip, and somebody may be holding a bag. Adults in the third row may tolerate a short drive, but buyers who need 6 or 7 full-size seats every day should test that row with the actual passengers, not a salesperson's promise. The mechanical recipe also deserves respect. This is not a simple 4-cylinder with one small motor. It combines turbocharging, gasoline direct injection, a conventional 6-speed automatic, hybrid hardware, battery cooling, and available all-wheel drive. Kia's warranty reduces the risk for early owners, but warranty coverage does not replace maintenance or guarantee that every inconvenience occurs on the dealer's schedule. The Sorrento's strongest enemy may be its own price ladder. Begin with an attractive hybrid, add all-wheel drive, premium trim equipment, dealer accessories, taxes and financing, and the payment can approach larger or more established alternatives. At that point, the buyer must decide whether efficiency matters more than room, towing capability, or long-term simplicity. Buy it if 4 people use it most of the time, and the third row is an occasional bonus. Think twice if the third row is the reason for the purchase, and do not buy a loaded example without comparing the out-the-door price against a Toyota Grand Highlander Hybrid, a larger gasoline SUV, and even a minivan. The Sorento Hybrid takes number 9 because it is a smart 2-row family vehicle wearing a third-row promise that some buyers take too literally. Number 10 is the 2026 Mitsubishi Outlander PHEV. Mitsubishi deserves credit here. The Outlander is one of the few relatively attainable plug-in SUVs with standard all-wheel drive, 3 rows, and useful electric commuting capability. The 2026 model starts above $43,000, and the basic idea is compelling. Charge at home, handle short daily trips on electricity, and keep a gasoline engine for road trips. But the Outlander exposes the most important rule of plug-in ownership. If you cannot charge conveniently, do not pay extra for a plug. The battery, motors, onboard charger and cables add weight whether you use them or not. With the battery depleted, the Outlander's gasoline-only fuel economy is far less impressive than the headline MPGe number buyers see in advertising. MPGe combines electric energy and gasoline into an equivalent efficiency measure. It is not the fuel economy you will receive after ignoring the charging port for a month. The third row creates another expectation problem. It exists, and that is useful in an emergency, but this is not a minivan replacement. Carry 7 people regularly, and the space behind them becomes extremely limited. Buyers who choose it because the brochure says 7 seats may discover that 7 passengers and 7 passengers' belongings are 2 different engineering problems. There is also an identity problem now that Nissan sells the closely related Rogue plug-in hybrid. 2 badges are competing around substantially similar hardware. That can create discounts, but it can also pressure resale values and force buyers to ask which dealer network they would rather depend on for high-voltage diagnosis. Who should buy the Outlander PHEV? Someone with a home charger, a commute inside the electric range, occasional need for the third row, and a Mitsubishi dealer nearby. Who should avoid it? Apartment dwellers without dependable charging, long-distance highway drivers, and families that need adult-sized third-row space every day. Charged nightly, the Outlander can be brilliant. Fueled like an ordinary SUV, it becomes an expensive machine carrying an unused electrical system. That is why it reaches number 10. Number 11 is the Ford Escape Hybrid. On paper, this is exactly the kind of hybrid most people should want. The 2026 Escape uses a 2.5-litre hybrid powertrain and can reach an EPA-estimated 42 city, 36 highway, and 39 combined miles per gallon. Ford lists the hybrid starting around the mid-$30,000 range, making it far less intimidating than the luxury plug-ins later in this countdown. So why is it here? Because a strong powertrain cannot completely rescue a purchase that feels old the moment you sign for it. The Escape competes in the most aggressive part of the American SUV market. Buyers cross-shop it against newer cabins, quieter rides, better materials, longer warranty stories, and competitors that feel more substantial at the same out-the-door price. The Escape can be efficient without feeling special. That is dangerous when dealer add-ons, a higher trim, and a long loan move the transaction far beyond the attractive number in the advertisement. Highway drivers also need to read the window sticker carefully. 39 combined sounds excellent, but the official highway number is lower than the city number because hybrids recover more energy in stop-and-go use. A driver who spends 80% of life at 75 miles per hour may never experience the city advantage that made the Escape look so economical. The correct buyer is a commuter who can purchase the Escape hybrid at a real discount, values efficiency over image, and prefers the size. The wrong buyer pays near premium money for a loaded version, expects a luxury cabin, then watches new arrivals receive more attention at resale time. Do the math before you buy. Compare the exact hybrid trim against the exact gasoline version, including insurance, financing, annual mileage, and realistic highway miles per gallon. If the fuel savings need 8 years to repay the price difference, but your normal ownership cycle is 4 years, you did not buy efficiency. You financed a badge. The Escape Hybrid earns number 11 because it is easy to recommend at the right price and equally easy to regret at the wrong one. Number 12 is the Hyundai Santa Fe Hybrid. This is the mildest warning on the list because the Santa Fe Hybrid does many things extremely well. It looks distinctive, it offers 3-row flexibility, it has a comfortable cabin, and the official numbers are appealing. 231 combined horsepower and up to 36 miles per gallon combined. The regret begins when a buyer mistakes a clever mid-size crossover for a full-size family hauler. The third row is useful, but using every seat changes the cargo equation immediately. Load adults, luggage, sports equipment, and a vacation's worth of belongings, and the boxy exterior suddenly feels smaller than the photos suggested. A family that truly needs the third row every day may discover that it purchased the appearance of a large SUV without the effortless space of one. The second concern is mechanical density. The Santa Fe Hybrid combines a 1.6-litre turbocharged gasoline engine, an electric motor, a high-voltage battery, a 6-speed automatic transmission, and available mechanical all-wheel drive. None of those parts is automatically unreliable. Hyundai also provides strong hybrid warranty protection. But this is not the simple, naturally aspirated, power split formula many shoppers imagine when they hear the word hybrid. That 6-speed automatic is part of the reason the Santa Fe feels familiar. It shifts like a conventional vehicle, instead of producing the sustained engine note some drivers dislike in an electronic CVT. The turbo and electric motor also create useful low-speed torque. The trade-off is that long-term ownership involves engine oil, turbocharger heat, transmission fluid, cooling circuits, hybrid electronics, and possibly all-wheel drive service all aging together. Who should still buy it? A family that needs occasional third-row seating, wants strong warranty coverage, can accept the cargo compromise, and plans to document every service. Who may regret it? The owner who needs full-size space, expects 40+ miles per gallon in every condition, or believes the hybrid badge has eliminated conventional transmission and turbocharger maintenance. The Santa Fe Hybrid is not a bad SUV. It is number 12 because the disappointment is usually a mismatch between expectation and mission, not a catastrophe.
Here is the final countdown. Number 12, Hyundai Santa Fe Hybrid. Good family SUV, but do not confuse occasional third-row flexibility with full-size space. Number 11, Ford Escape Hybrid. Excellent city efficiency, but only compelling when the transaction price defeats newer rivals. Number 10, Mitsubishi Outlander PHEV. Useful electric range and 3-row flexibility, but it demands regular charging. Number 9, Kia Sorento Hybrid. Polished and efficient, but the third row is a bonus, not a miracle. Number 8, Volvo XC60 Recharge. Fast and elegant, with luxury complexity that does not depreciate as quickly as the purchase price. Number 7, Mazda CX-90 PHEV. Premium dynamics and 3 rows, but a first-generation plug-in architecture with only modest electric range. Sarcastic, number 6, BMW X5 xDrive 50e. Spectacular performance, impossible to justify as a simple money-saving appliance. Number 5, Hyundai Tucson Hybrid. Strong warranty and equipment, but a more mechanically crowded design than the hybrid badge suggests. Number 4, Jeep Grand Cherokee 4xe. Impressive capability created by stacking expensive systems together. Number 3, Dodge Hornet R/T. Fast, unusual, and now carrying the resale uncertainty of production paused indefinitely. Number 2, Nissan Rogue Plug-in Hybrid. Useful when charged, but expensive, closely related to the Outlander, weak on gasoline-only MPG, and immediately followed by Nissan's new e-Power strategy. And number 1, Jeep Wrangler 4xe. Brilliant for a Wrangler owner who charges, catastrophic for an efficiency shopper who does not. Before buying any hybrid SUV, ask 5 questions. First, can I charge at home? If the vehicle has a plug and your answer is no, calculate the cost using the gasoline-only MPG, not MPGE. Second, how many miles do I drive in a normal day? A 30-mile electric range is valuable for a 20-mile commute and nearly irrelevant to a traveling salesperson covering 200 miles. Third, what is the out-the-door premium over the simpler alternative? Include interest. A $5,000 difference financed for 72 months costs more than $5,000. Divide that total by realistic annual fuel savings. The answer may outlive your ownership. Fourth, who will repair this exact powertrain? Do not ask whether the dealership sells hybrids. Ask how many high-voltage technicians work there, how long diagnostic appointments take, and whether the dealer has serviced this exact model. Fifth, what happens after the warranty? Price the correct tires. Check insurance, read the battery and hybrid component warranty, research cooling system service, transmission service, and open recalls by VIN. Then decide whether one major repair would destroy your budget. The central lesson is simple. A hybrid can reduce fuel consumption without reducing ownership risk. A plug-in can eliminate gasoline from your commute without saving $1 if the purchase price, insurance, depreciation, and repairs consume the difference. And a luxury hybrid can be worth every penny without ever being economical. Buy the mission, not the badge. If you already own one of these SUVs, put the model, mileage, real MPG, and repairs in the comments. Do not write only, "Mine is perfect," or "Mine is junk." Tell us whether you charge, how far you drive, what the dealer fixed, and what it cost. That information can save another family thousands of dollars. And tell me which vehicle should have ranked higher. Was the Wrangler 4xe too harsh? Is the new Rogue PHEV a hidden bargain? Or should one of these 12 have been replaced by another hybrid SUV? Subscribe, because the next video will rank the hybrid SUVs that are actually worth keeping beyond 150,000 miles. The most reliable choice may not be the one with the best MPG sticker, and the most expensive battery may not be the part you should fear. The dealership sells a monthly payment. Your driveway inherits the machine.